So that's the stance. And now is the most important thing. I had a tennis coach in New Zealand who was on the tour way back, and he said they looked at the top 100 players, that was probably 10 years ago, and looked to see if there was anything that they all did on the serve. And the one thing absolutely they all had in common was they all pronated. So basically, from here to here, they pronate. Pronation basically is taking the palm from face up, supine, to face down, which is prone. You're pronating. There's also supination, going from prone to supine. But the one we're talking about now is pronation. That's basically rotating your wrist this direction, rotating your upper arm this direction as well. And that's the same direction for basically unscrewing a light bulb or unscrewing a screw. So that pronation is absolutely essential. Every single tennis pro uses it, and they use it not only on the flat serve, which is what I'm talking about today, but they also use it on a slice serve, and they use it on a topspin serve. Actually, it's a kick serve, where they finish off to the side. They pronate there as well. So pronation is absolutely a must, and that's what you start with. That's the core of the serve, the core part of the stroke, going from here to here. So why is it important? Why is it good? The main reason it's good is that if you watch a typical player and they do their sort of invented stroke, they swing across the body typically and follow through on the side. And part of the reason they do that is they get to uncoil, and that coming across helps them uncoil, and they get more power. Problem with it is that if you look at the racket here, look at the racket face changing direction as they swing. So if they miss time contact, they got this thing going like this, and who knows where the ball's going. So pronation sort of cancels that out. So the tendency for people to swing across the body to the left is canceled out by pronation, which causes the racket head to instead swing off to the right, like that. So if you do an extreme pronation, swing really hard, you can end up way over here. So that cancels out this, and as a result, you get this. So notice the arm and the racket are going right in this plane in which you're trying to hit the ball. So you're trying to hit the ball that direction. That's where the ball goes. So the very fact that this thing tends to swing to the right and cancels out this means that it's right down the middle. That means that all of the power in the swing goes into ball contact. And then you get a nice hard serve in the direction that you're swinging. That's the main reason for it. There's an additional benefit to it, which is that if you look at the pros, they typically don't have the racket straight up in the air at contact. It's actually tipped slightly one side. And what that does is if you're pronating, if I just put the racket up here and I pronate, you can see that the racket face is going toward the camera, like let's do it to the side here. There's the pronation. And so if I take it up to here and I pronate with the racket tipped, you can see the racket face goes forward. So that gives you an extra 5-10 miles an hour in racket head speed transferred to the ball. So it actually gives you more pump. But that's not the primary reason. The primary reason is to get the racket going in the direction you're trying to hit the ball. So now we've talked about the core of the serve. So now what you want to do then is you want to be able to have that be your practice. Toss the ball and then serve. And just go from here to here. And as I've said earlier in other videos, I've said if you stop here and you look and see that the racket face is faced off to the side fence and your palm is faced off to the side fence, then you pronate. If you do this, it came around like this, if you do this and it comes down here, then the racket's facing that direction, your palm's facing that direction, clearly that's not right. It's only if you have this, palm is over here,